everyone, so today's video is going to be all about Real Techniques brushes, and these are brushes that have been created by a fellow YouTuber on here, and that is Samantha Chapman, and everyone has been raving and just going on and on about these amazing brushes, and I thought I would contribute my opinions and thoughts to these brushes, as well as talk you through the brushes I have, where the best place is to get them from, if the sets are worth buying or if individuals are better, and just stuff like that. So keep watching if you're interested in purchasing some Real Techniques brushes and you want to find out more about them. So I'll start off by showing you an overview of the brushes I do own, and of course I don't have them all, but I would say I have a fair amount because I do have a fair few. So I have the core set, which is all of the face brushes, and then I have the starter set, which is all of the eye brushes. Well, not all of the eye brushes, but this is face, this is eyes. And then I have two individual brushes, which are the Stippling and the blush brush. So I'm just going to be talking about all of these brushes, as well as just the quality and where I bought them from, because I know in Australia they sell them at Priceline, but it's so expensive. So I'm also going to be going through and showing you the prices compared to what they sell in store in Australia and then what you can get them for online. Before we talk about the actual brushes, I'm just going to talk about the packaging for a second, because I find that this is really unique and different, that it's actually not just in packaging, but it's in something reusable. So it's kind of just like a little brush holder that you can set up like this and set down while you're doing your makeup, but I find that it's easiest for me to have it out of this packaging, just because getting them in and out of there is a little bit of a pain to do on an everyday basis. So it is good for traveling though. I must admit I would use this for traveling, but probably not the best for everyday use. So it just has this little toggle here which tightens and loosens your little holder, and you can just do it to what your preference is, how you like it to sit and stuff like that. And then you just set it on your table, and then it has a little Velcro here so that when you're traveling you can Velcro them up like that, and they're all safe in their little travel pocket. So I just think it's a great idea. It's something little extra and unique that I don't really see in many brushes. Like Eco Tools, I know that they do have a kind of like a brush roll thing, but it's nothing that's like as accessible and usable as this is. So I just thought I would mention that because I was really impressed by this, because I really like when they add extra little things like that. So just to give you a little idea about price comparison and how much these are costing, this is $45 here in Australia if you go to Priceline, whereas if you buy it online you can get it for recommended American retail price, which is $18, and sometimes you can get it even cheaper if you have a coupon code. So if you're an Australian, please don't go out and buy them from Priceline unless you have a lot of money to waste, because the markup is just so incredible. I just can't even wrap my head around how they can justify charging almost 3 times the amount for the same thing. So I don't know, but I think online is definitely your best option. I wouldn't ever go to Priceline and buy a Real Techniques brush ever. So yeah, definitely shop online for these, because the markup is just insane in Australia. So here is the buffing brush, and it is very, very dense and rounded. As you can see, this is perfect for liquid foundation. I use this for my everyday foundation, and it's also perfect for mineral foundations, so like powders, very fine powders. This would pick up the product really nicely because it's so dense, and yeah, it just applies beautifully. This would give you a really flawless look if you're using mineral foundation with it, and also it gives you a very airbrushed look when you're using liquid and cream foundations. The next brush is the contour brush, and this is such a handy little brush. It's perfect for so many different things. It's great for highlighter because of the dome shape, which allows for precise application, and then it's also really good for contouring. That's what I use it for, just because it gives you such a natural and seamless effect without it being really like harsh. You know how some people use like the credit cards and then they like contour with a credit card and it just looks so harsh. I prefer the sort of seamless, natural approach to that. So this brush is perfect in doing that. It is so soft like all of the others, and it just gives you such a natural looking contour, and it makes it look much more natural than a lot of brushes that I have used for contouring. So this is definitely one of my favorites, and I use this on an everyday basis to contour. I used to be scared of contouring just because it used to look so harsh, but this just makes it so natural looking that I now love contouring. The next brush is the smallest of the kit, and it is the detailer brush. So I'll get in really close so you can see this here. And as you can see, it has a thin side and then it has a really fat side. So this is perfect. It's very stiff as well, so it makes it very good for concealer, but it also makes it really good for precise application, like if you want to use your lipstick and apply it for just really precise application. So this is perfect for concealer and lipstick. I've heard a lot of people say that this is too small for blemishes, but I mean, for me, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, I don't get giant pimples the size of my cheek or anything, so this is just perfect in covering up small little dots and stuff like that. So for me, it is big enough. I wouldn't really think you'd need a concealer brush to be bigger than this, because then you'll be applying too much product. So yeah, this is definitely a good concealer brush in my opinion, but I've heard a lot of people use it for lips as well. Oh, and it's also really good for getting underneath your eyes and just underneath your lash line as well, where you want to cover up any darkness with your concealer. This next brush is the pointed foundation brush, and I've heard a lot of girls use this for concealer, but I find that it's way too big. If you have a look, like a blemish is not going to be that big, so for me, it's too large to use for concealer, but I do love to use it with mineral setting powders and stuff like that to set like my concealer underneath my eyes, or maybe even like in between my eyebrows, just small places like that that are hard to get to with a big powder brush. I do like to use this for. As for using it for foundation, I don't typically like using these typical foundation brushes, but if you do use it for foundation, I can see it'd be great in the aspect that you would get in really like close to areas that are hard to get into, but it might also be a bit tricky because it is so small compared to your face that it might be too small for foundation but too big for concealer. So it really just depends on your personal preference of what you want to use this brush for, but it is very multi-use and you can use it for many different things. So next is the starter set, and this has all of the eye brushes in it. So this is $40 in Australia from Priceline, or it's $18 in America. Now I'm not sure why it's $40 when the other one was $50, and they're both the same price in America. So I don't know, because if they're going by the same amount of markup as they were with the face brushes, this is not as much as markup. So I don't really understand that, but not complaining just because they are a bit cheaper, but still recommend buying online because that you can get them much cheaper online. Starting off with the angled brow brush. This is absolutely perfect for doing your brows. It's nice and stiff, although all of the little bristles are very individual, which helps them pick up color. And yeah, it's just very great to use with a brow powder or a cream brow product. So definitely love this brush. This next one is the accent brush, and I actually use this for concealer, alternating between this and my concealer brush. So it's actually not used for eyes for me, but it could be used for eyes as it gets into like the inner corner highlight there, and it's just really great for small areas of your eyes if you just want to maybe use it in your crease to deepen it up, or maybe use it to create a V or something for your outer V, something like that. It could even be used as a brow highlight up here. So it's another multi-use brush, depends what you prefer to use it for. You could even just keep on spot cleaning it in between and using it for all different things if that's what you wanted to do. But for me, I use it for concealer just because I do have enough small detailer brushes for my eyes. Next is the Pixel Point eyeliner brush, and for me, I used to use it for eyeliner. I mean, I've tried it a couple of times with eyeliner, but it's just a little bit thick and a little bit too rounded. I mean, I will include a little clip beside me that shows you a close-up of what this brush looks like, because it's hard for me to get close enough to the camera because it's a very fine little brush. But I find that it doesn't do my eyeliner well enough. It's very wispy. It doesn't have a very like precise line like I like it to. It's kind of just, it fades out a little bit. So I don't really like this for eyeliner, but I haven't gotten around to washing it, so that's kind of bad. But I could wash it and use it for maybe like highlighting, detailing, stuff like that. But I wouldn't recommend this for eyeliner just because, I don't know, maybe if you have bigger eyes, because I know how I have quite small eyes, so that could be the problem for me. Next is the Deluxe Crease Brush, and this is an amazing brush, one of my favorites. It's definitely a very dense brush and it's good quality, and it's rounded, and it's just really great for picking up color and applying it in your crease like it says what it's for. But you can also use it to pick up cream products, because it's definitely that great density that could pick up cream products really well and be able to blend it very nicely for a seamless sort of effect, rather than, like, it's really hard to work with cream products sometimes. So this just makes it really easy to blend it out and stuff like that. So I definitely like this for cream products and for my crease with normal eyeshadow. Next is the base shadow brush, and this is very dense and stiff, but it's also very, very soft, and it's also a bit tapered towards the end. It goes into kind of like an angle. So yeah, I definitely love this for applying eyeshadow on just basic lid and stuff like that. I use this for my base color that I use when I put on eyeshadow, and yeah, it's just a really, really great brush. I love the way that it's shaped, and I love the way that it's stiff but still soft, and it's actually really similar to the MAC 217, which I used to have, but I lost it, so I don't have that one anymore. But this is good for replacing it. It's much cheaper as well. So that was all for the starter set, which is all the eye brushes. And now onto the 2 individual brushes that I own. And you have to remember that all of the brushes that are in sets aren't available individually, and all of the brushes that are available individually aren't available in sets. So that's just something to remember, because I remembered I didn't actually want to get the face set. I just wanted to get a couple of brushes out of it, but then I realized that they don't sell them individually. They only sell them in a set. I'm going to talk about the Stippling brush first, and I wasn't disappointed when I received this in the mail, but I was a little surprised and shocked over how small it was, because the normal Stippling brushes that I have, I think they're crown brushes that I have. They're the ones that have the light pink handle, and I saw them at IMATS this year, but they're just so much bigger than these. So I was also surprised at how very dense it is and very stiff. So yeah, I don't know, this was just not what I was expecting. It's not bad or anything, it's just, it is quite small compared to your face, and because it's stiff, it doesn't transfer much product with each little thing, so you have to keep on going over and over and keep on reapplying it to the brush. Whereas the buffing brush is, although it's very similar in size, as you can see, it just feels like it evenly distributes the product a bit better, and it's less stiff, so it's easy to just swipe across your face, whereas this one you can't just swipe across your face because it is so stiff. So I would definitely, if you're looking into a brush to apply your foundation, I would not go with the Stippling brush, just because it's a much harder to work with. Great if you're looking for a flawless sort of effect or something, but definitely not for everyday use, just because it's so much easier to use this buffing brush. And this brush is $10 in America and $23 if you go to Priceline. So I definitely recommend getting this online if you do want to get it, just because, as with all of the brushes, you save so much money. It's unbelievable how much money you save by buying them online rather than in Priceline in store. So it's great that Priceline has gotten them in store. It's just not so great how expensive that they are. I've left my favorite until last, and this is the blush brush. And I don't know, whoever called this a blush brush was not thinking, because this is like the size of my whole entire cheek. So I wouldn't really trust myself to apply a very pigmented blush with that, because I could get my whole entire side of my face looking the blush color. So I use this for setting my foundation with translucent powders and just setting powders and stuff like that, like my MAC Studio Fix or my Fresh and Flawless by Australis. I love to use this with it just because it's so big. You just have to have a couple of swipes and your makeup is completely set. So this is $23 in Priceline, and it's $9 if you buy it online, but with a code it can be a bit cheaper than that. So I think it works out to be $8 with a code. So yeah, definitely my favorite brush. Great because it's so quick in the morning to just swipe it on and you're done. So much easier than a kabuki brush, just because it's very light. It's kind of like you don't have to have a light hand with your kabuki brush, and you don't have to like rub it in like you do with a kabuki brush. You just like go over and it just works very nicely, and it's very soft. This is my favorite because it's so soft. I can't stop feeling it. Now on to one of the most important bits of the video, and it's where to buy from. And as you've seen me go on and on throughout the video over the price between Priceline and between online. So please don't go to Priceline, you'll be wasting your money. Go and buy it online, because including shipping, it is not that expensive and it arrives very quickly. So the website that I used is iherb.com. I know a lot of gurus and girls who do makeup videos have been using this website to buy all of their Real Techniques brushes, and that's just because it is the best deal. And I actually have a code for you to use, and it'll be in the description bar, and I think everyone gets one who orders Real Techniques brushes or orders anything off the website, they all get a code, and it's $5 off your first purchase if it's under $40, and if it's over $40, then you get $10 off your purchase, which is so crazy. So that means if you order $40 worth of products, it comes down to $30. That's just crazy to me. You save so much money. So I will have the link below for iHerb. I'll have my code and everything that you can use that could save you some money. And yeah, definitely go to iHerb.com because they sell them for the recommended American retail prices. But with the code, you can get it cheaper than American retail prices are. So definitely not worth going to Priceline. Maybe go to Priceline to check them out, but then buy them online. So this is the end of my very rambly and long Real Techniques review. I hope this was helpful for you girls. I really tried to include a lot of information like comparisons and prices and where to buy from and stuff like that. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Real Techniques brush is, or if you ordered off iHerb and stuff like that to get it much cheaper if you live in Australia. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you really soon in my next video. Bye everyone!